Serving the community since 1985, today Bloomfield Community Television supports 6 municipalities and more than 80,000 residents.
Good evening, soccer fans, and welcome to Birmingham Oklahoma High School. I'm Brad Fetters.
In the old days, when motion pictures were first started.
And now, here's Franklin.
At BCTV, we're not just a video production team, but a partner in showcasing the best of our community.
All right, welcome. My name is Jose Guzman, and I'm the Grants and Engagement Coordinator for Bloomfield Township, but I work right out of here, out of the Cable and Community Relations Department and supporting BCTV, Bloomfield Community Television. And welcome to step 1 in your journey of becoming a community producer, volunteer, or just learning more about the inspired work that we do here every day.
Hi, Carrie. How's it going?
Pretty good. We're getting a lot of phone calls right now. Yes. And wait, we have a correction. The Raymond Love Amy thing was a joke. It was a joke.
Oh, that was a mean joke, babe. I think that was kind of rude.
And Monica loves Tony. I don't think it's you, Tony.
You don't think it's me?
No, I don't think it's you. Because
That
everyone knows that Carol loves you, and that's it. But
That was kind of rude.
So that's our fearless leader, Director Carrie Lazat, in 1988 at the Cable Access Station in Dearborn, where she grew up. Carrie spent many Saturday nights there producing Back Porch Video, which was very similar to MTV. They showed videos and served as camera operators, floor managers, and it's where Carrie first directed live television before leaving high school. Carrie's classmates and Back Porch Video alum went on to careers in production around the world, working as a creative director at Nat Geo, directing many National Navy commercials, writing and producing for HBO, and much more. Community Public Access Studios is where many careers start, and today we can talk about what that entails and how you might participate. So, cable. Operations of the cable channel, providing technical support and expertise to community producers. Many stations provide training, and that is certainly one of our goals. Our volunteer community producers create much of the content, talk shows, and make requests for concerts and lectures. Community relations, weekly e-news via email, press releases, the supervisors of Bloomfield in Focus, quarterly print newsletter, and a regular video newsletter, both called Living in Bloomfield. The website and social media accounts, community engagement in the form of township open houses and lunchtime food trucks, like the one we're going to have at 11 o'clock. Also grant opportunities to supplement studio and township projects. And we also have regular video campaigns for our police and fire departments. And this is our staff. As I mentioned earlier, we have our director, Carrie Lazat. We have Greg Black, who's the operations manager on the community relations side. We have Steve Rhoda, who's the operations manager on the cable side, Jose, and Amy McCaig, our digital content coordinator. So we are the heart of what's kind of going on here. And we really couldn't do it without our part-time staff. These are our technicians, our producers, our videographers, assistants, and so much more. Currently, we have about 20 part-time employees. Many help with other municipalities that we manage. We recently hired a specific 3-person team that works on Living in Bloomfield, which I'll talk about a little later. And they are really what makes this place go, and they're veritable heart of what we do here. And our facilities, we have this 1,000 square foot studio space, which is very adaptable. We have an amazing podcast studio, which we can show you in a bit, and our production truck. These assets help us serve the township and our 5 other communities, which are Birmingham, Bloomfield Hills, Bingham Farms, Beverly Hills, and Franklin. And now let's talk about what PEG is. PEG, Public Education and Government Cable Channels. These are community-based television channels across the United States. They are funded by cable companies who pay a percentage of their revenues to local communities in the form of franchise fees and PEG fees. These fees are charged to the cable providers, which allow them to operate in rights of way in the community. The franchise fee is capped at 5% of the gross income derived from the provision of paid television services. The PEG fee is between 1% to 3% of the gross revenue from the paid television service and must only be used for PEG-related activities. And the fees are tied to the Cable Communications Policy Act of 1984 and have resulted in millions of dollars to support community programming and franchise fees servicing other local needs like public safety and road repair. And Bloomfield Community Television is broadcast on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99 locally. And while the programming varies from state to state, it typically includes the recording of government meetings as well as local shows produced by or in collaboration with community members like yourself. And why is this important? Well, it's about technology support and equipment to demystify the media production process and to help foster digital literacy skills. It provides a local alternative, non-commercial information and programming. It is a safe, supportive space for diversity of opinions where underrepresented populations have a voice. It provides transparency and oversight of the government by recording and broadcasting public meetings. And it's a way for community members to see and join in democratic deliberation, political critique, and local knowledge production. Now, what is it not? Well, large telecommunication companies make the argument that web-based streaming platforms can replace public access as a way to distribute more user-generated content than free cable channels, but it's not a good argument. But the collaborations between producers and YouTube is focused on monetization, and the focus of community television has always been on non-commercial programming. We have our most recent census breakdown of the populations we serve, both in the township and in the 5 communities that I mentioned earlier. And government programming will always be a foundation. We have a growing lineup of shows produced by people just like you. And here's a breakdown of the government meetings that we cover. And as you can see, this is another breakdown, but as you can see, podcasts they rule. Some of these podcasts are recorded remotely via StreamYard. They're also recorded in our podcast studio in-house. And obviously the StreamYard aspect kind of continued after COVID, but for the most part, we get a lot of people who want to just do it in the studio in here in-house. And here's a few of our community producers of note. So these people have been here recording with us upwards of 15 years. Bottom Line, Health Talk, Michigan Entrepreneur, About You, Gracefully Graying, Ion Oakland. And then we have our newer shows. We have The Bigger Picture, which is a show about climate change. We have Building Together, which is hosted by the former Township Supervisor Leo Savoy, and it's all about the fire that happened in Oakland Hills and the process of rebuilding that. We have Chops, All Music, which is hosted by Kat Pino. She's a local musician who brings on other musicians, and she highlights the music scene of around here in Metro Detroit. Facts for 50 Plus, which is hosted by our Township Director Christine Tavaroja, and she talks about the resources that are available at our senior center. And then we have Immersive Wellness with Jacqueline, who talks about using virtual reality and other resources to help with mental health. We recently launched the Township app. You can scan this QR code that will take you to our Township website and links to download the app to either your Android or iPhone. This app helps you stay connected to what is happening in the Township. You can pay bills, contact departments, and even watch our programming. And one of the most useful features is the click and report, where if you're walking around taking photos and you see something, you can snap a photo and send it directly to us to get addressed. We have our recently redesigned print newsletter, and this goes out, and it's a big hit with our residents who really want something in their hand. And thanks to recent hires, we're able to relaunch Living in Bloomfield. This is a program that is dedicated to highlighting our rich community and the people that make it special. Our press releases seek to highlight both happenings here at BCTV, but also our Township campus and beyond. Having these stories get picked up by local outlets like the Birmingham Eagle, and they keep our community members more informed. We produce a series of electronic newsletters. We have the Township e-News offering weekly updates and resources to our community. There's the BT Buzz, which keeps our township employees in the know. We have our Local Lens, which keeps producers and interested residents aware of the latest happenings here at BCTV. And we have the BT PD, or Bloomfield Township Police Department, recruitment blotter, which helps promote our police department's brand and stay visible to potential recruits. And if you're here, please make sure you sign up for the Local Lens if you haven't already. So, about our funding. As consumers cancel cable subscriptions and switch to broadband services to view content on a variety of streaming platforms like Netflix, YouTube, and Hulu, the funding of PEG stations is decreasing. At the same time, the Federal Communications Commission is working to secure broadband services to rural communities and low-income urban areas. This collision of communication requirements is disrupting the cable industry. Penn State professor Christopher Ali explains in Telecommunications Localism, the fight for control over local communication networks in the United States, and he says, in regulatory actions over the past decade, the FCC has simultaneously acknowledged local municipalities' role in telecommunications deployment and actively worked to curtail this power through deregulation. These deregulatory actions strip municipalities of their autonomy over license negotiations and local rights of way and stymies the development of local communication systems. According to local Comcast representative Eric Woody, broadband access is like access to running water or electricity. It is essential infrastructure, the lack of which is a barrier to economic competitiveness and the equitable distribution of essential public services, including healthcare and education. Last year, he was interviewed by our director on her show Coffee with Carrie. Protecting Community Television Act in February of 2023. This bill would help undo a ruling in August of 2019 by the FCC that usurped local franchising authority and allowed cable companies to deduct the fair market value of any services, like providing PEG channels, and in-kind contributions, which resulted in a loss of approximately 30 to 40% of franchise fee revenue. However, HR 3557, the American Broadband Deployment Act, introduced in May of 2023, which is said to streamline federal, state, and local permitting and regulatory reviews to expedite the deployment of communication facilities and other purposes. The act will again erode the power of local government if passed. Journalist Roger Chang explains in the Cord Cutter News, the bill could instead diminish the power of local and state oversight, devastating their ability to ensure coverage is built out to service everyone equally. ISPs, or Internet Service Providers, prioritizing more profitable and densely populated areas is a core reason why there's such a wild disparity in service and network quality. And here in Michigan, HB 4965 is a bill before the legislature that would amend the Uniform Video Service Act to define video services by making it clear that it does not include direct-to-home satellite services or streaming content, and to specify that it only includes services provided by a video service provider. At risk is approximately $100 million in franchise fees currently being collected in the state of Michigan. And then also other possibilities that for funding operations. Travis County, Texas is proceeding with an ongoing plan to use public right-of-way to install Google Fiber in the western and southern portions of the county. The city of Chicago is imposing a tax on amusements in the city, such as live performances, movies, and sporting events with exemptions, including revenues that have a capacity of fewer than 1,500 persons or some other qualifying events. Florida makes use of a communication service tax, which is composed of two parts, the Florida Communication Service Tax and the Local Communication Service Tax. Somerville, Massachusetts recently announced a proposal to fund educational and government television services using the city's general budget going forward, rather than using franchise fees, and to allot all of the annual 5% franchise fees rather than 1/3 of them to public access. This will provide more durable financial support for all PEG services and more funding for the local media center. And just a look at our available studio space. So we have our main studio, and then in a little bit we'll take you on a tour. We'll show you where the green room is, we'll show you the podcast studio, and we have 3 editing bays that are pretty much used constantly. As funding begins to shift from traditional cable franchise fees to other options driven by new media, PEG Television itself needs to find ways to be relevant. These changes are already underway as television stations rebrand themselves as community media centers, offering workshops in digital literacy and other collaborative productions, bring the community together to create locally inspired, non-commercial content. And obviously, we are here at Back to School, which kicked off last September, and this was our first day-long program of workshops geared towards digital literacy. Participants last year were able to learn various topics such as the basics of camera work, using Canva to promote your work, and even got to attend a live recording of the Distracted Librarians, all free. And of course, if you stay here today, you will see a whole new slew of workshops that are available as well. And more importantly, we recently just kicked off our very first sports broadcasting camp. So this was available to local youths that applied, and this was an amazing opportunity that we are definitely want to grow on. They came in here for almost 2 weeks, and they did an amazing job learning anything and everything there is to about the basics of sports production. We brought in various speakers who offered different workshop talks, and then more importantly, everything led up to the 6th annual Keith Bernanke Memorial Cup, which is a special game between Brother Rice and Seaholm, and the kids actually worked the game. They were behind the camera, they were in the editing suites, they were doing the replay, they were doing the play-by-play, and we had this amazing class of 7 kids who came in, and we definitely want to grow on that. So that's just one of a lot of opportunities that we are trying to grow here at BCTV. And as I mentioned earlier, we definitely want to make this space a community resource. So this is the green room, and we will take a tour later. So this is the space that is offered for all of our community producers. Before you record a show, you can sit in there with your guest and do like a little pregame, or sometimes a lot of our producers will do what we call block producing, where they'll record more than one show in a day, and while they're recording a show in the podcast room, their other guests can hang out in the green room. So, steps in becoming a volunteer producer. Well, complete a show proposal. We have the form online. Be assigned a BCTV director, which will be, the person who works with you chiefly. You're going to observe at least 2 programs. Of course, if you stay later today, we're going to have the Franklin Show, and if you watch that today, that counts as one of your programs because we want you to shadow an actual operation so you can see how that works. Create a plan for your show title, graphics, and music, and that is something that we can help you with as well, so you don't have to be out on an island by yourself. And now I will open it up for questions. First of all, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And now I will open this all up for questions. So, welcome. How's it going?
Hi, what's your name? Oh,
I'm Jose. How's it going?
Jose, I talked to you on the phone.
Yes. Hey, Shelly, how's it going?
Well, except for construction, it's going fine. I got caught up in 2 construction areas.
Okay.
Turn around in the sand and come in.
Hey, it happens. It happens.
Sorry, I ain't being late for anything.
Well, the good news is you're here. You have my unfocused attention for the next 20 minutes. So, how can I be of assistance?
Well, I was here years ago and did some show called Medical Matters.
Mm-hmm.
And Nadine Maynard was here then, and
Yeah.
then I'm asked, and I'm coming here to see if I can do another show.
Okay, cool. Well, you're in the right place.
I don't know if it's going to be Medical Matters, but
Okay.
one of them would be.
Well, again, it's all up to you. It's all based on your content. Again, the stuff that happens here, again, we are here as a technical resource behind the scenes to get things out. And the shows that I showed a slide earlier of some of the different programs you have, like Immersive Health and Let's Plant Houses and All Chops Music, like all of those programs, it's based on people like you who have the idea, have the content, have the guests, and we are here as a resource.
Great.
Yes?
Does it matter what kind of show? Like, if you already have health shows, could I do a health show too?
Why not? Absolutely, yeah. Well, again, like everyone is going to have their own perspective. Everyone's going to bring their own take. I mean, obviously, I always recommend people look at our channel to make sure they see what's available so that they may not be like parroting something else. But I'm under the opinion that everybody has their own voice and has their own take on an issue. So that would be my thing.
What's your name? Amy. Oh, you're Amy? Hi, Nice to meet Raymond, Shelley.
I don't know, any other questions?
Yeah, what days do you tape on, do taping on, and can you do, did 4 shows at a time sometimes,
Okay.
but, I'm open to what you have to say, you're the leader.
Sure. So our studio, like the township itself, we are open Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 5:30. So ideally, any time within that. And Steve Rhoda, who's our operations cable manager, he would be the person in charge of scheduling. But ideally, as long as you have availability in that, we can set that up. And again, we don't have like specific times blocked out because it's literally based off of your availability, and then we try to coordinate with whatever schedule that we have. And then more importantly, like once you sort of have like a regular schedule, it like, you know, if like, oh, I can record every Tuesday at 11 or something, like it kind of makes it easier for us to, you know, get that stuff as well. So.
Do some people do it two times a week?
Well, some people do what we call block recording, which is what they'll do. They'll come in and they will record multiple shows at once. So, for example, I mentioned, what was it, last week, Stir the Cocoa, she did 3 shows in a block, and so she came in here from like 2 to 4, and she recorded, again, she had 3 different guests show up at 3 different times, and the ones who showed up, you know, after, you know, again, like she was recording with her first guest, and then the other guests would show up, and I would show them to the green room. And I mean, honestly, like that's kind of, I think that's kind of optimal because it means you don't have to come here multiple times, right?
Exactly.
Again, as long as you can schedule with your guests, and again, that is totally on you. Like whoever you're going to have on your show, like that's on you to coordinate with them to make sure they can come. Or again,
Check on them and say, I'm gonna have help, I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
all by myself.
Okay. And of course, we have the podcast studio, but also via StreamYard. If someone's not physically able to come here, we can always set something up where they can record via StreamYard, which is, you know, via Zoom. Because we've done that too, where like someone will come into the studio and have a guest via StreamYard. Or if something's going on in your light and you want to record from home, hey, we can do that as well.
Oh, you call this
StreamYard.
Y-A-R-D?
StreamYard, Y-A-R-D, StreamYard.
I went partially deaf because I moved in with someone that needed ear hearing aids.
Yeah.
And he then played the TV so loud that just in 2 months I can't hear one of my ears, and I'm embarrassed. But I am going to see Dr. Korkegian this week.
Cool.
Hopefully today. So if I keep saying ha-ha, it's
Yeah,
not my usual.
no
way.
problem.
Okay.
But again, our operation is Monday through Thursday, 7 to 5:30.
7 a.m. to 5:30.
Yeah.
That is great. I mean, I could come here at 7 a.m.
If you really want to, yeah, we'll be here.
Oh my, how many people do that come at 7 a.m.?
I mean, from time to time, like for example, our township supervisor will record stuff from time to time, and a lot of times he'll do it at 7 a.m. to get it out of the way so that he can get, you know, the rest of his day going.
Who is that?
Mike McCready.
Mike who?
Mike McCready. McCready. So I think he's the only one I can think of off the top of my head, but I mean, I know I'm here at 7 a.m., so hey, you know.
That's great. How long have you been here?
I've been here for 2.5 years.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
You sound so professional.
I try.
You too.